Hello everyone and welcome to my B&B Fan Club channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Will's hand shook as he placed the phone on the kitchen counter, the screen still glowing with the message he had just received. It came from the clinic, a sterile affirmation that left his world empty. Mr. Forrester, your sperm analysis shows azoospermia. There was no viable sperm found. We propose more consultation. The words were muddled, not from tears, but from the sheer impossibility of them. He'd sensed something was wrong for months. Luna's glow, the way she rubbed her belly when she thought no one was looking, the ultrasound photo she'd slipped into his briefcase like a secret love letter. He had kissed her that morning, told her he loved her, and promised to see her at the following appointment. Now the promise seemed like a lie. Luna was upstairs, humming as she put small onesies in drawers. Will could hear the faint thud of fabric on wood, and the odd coo she gave to the baby that kicked inside her. He put his palms to the marble countertop, cold soaking into his skin and anchoring him against the vertigo. Infertile. The word tasted metallic like blood. He had always thought that parenthood would come easy, as it did for his father and grandfather. Forresters were bred like royalty, according to family tradition. However, the lab report was merciless, 0 count. Not low, not borderline. 0. He climbed the stairs carefully, each step a challenge against gravity. When he entered the nursery, Luna had her back to him. Sunlight spilled through the gauzy curtains, catching on the paper crane mobile she had strung over the crib. She turned and smiled, one hand cupping the swell beneath her sundress. "Hey you," she said. "I was just thinking of names. What do you think of Elias? Or perhaps something with a W to match yours?" Will's throat closed. He managed to nod, followed by a sound that could have been agreement. Luna's smile wavered. "Will, what is wrong?" He took the folded printout from his pocket, the paper wrinkled from where he had grabbed it too tightly. He presented it as evidence in a trial. Luna accepted it, her brow furrowed as she scanned the page. The humming ceased. The room was filled with a deafening quiet. "This can't be right," she said. "They must have mixed up the samples." "No, they didn't." His voice trembled. "I called. They double-checked." "It's mine," Luna said, bringing her hand to her mouth. The paper fluttered to the ground, lying face up between them like a white flag. Will saw her face go through emotions too quick to name. Confusion, denial, horror, and guilt. When her knees buckled, he grabbed her before she hit the ground. She was heavier now, with the baby between them, and the kick against his ribs felt like an accusation. "I don't understand," she murmured into his shirt. "We had been trying for a year. You said, I thought." He paused. What did he think? Could hope override biology? Could love rewrite DNA? I didn't know. Luna drew back, scrutinizing his face. "But the timing, the night after the gala when I remember. The evening's festivities. Champagne. A hotel suite." Luna laughed as he carried her over the threshold, both of them intoxicated with each other and the prospect of a future. He had dozed off with his palm on her stomach, thinking of a child with her eyes and his stubborn chin. Now the memory has been cleared. Luna's breath tightened. "Will, I swear there has been no one else. You must believe me." He wanted to. God, he wanted to. But the math was difficult. Conception required sperm, but his were ghosts. He remembered the occasion she had returned home late from work dinners, and how her phone hummed with messages that she immediately hushed. He trusted her. Blindly. Stupidly. "I need air," he replied, stepping back. Luna lunged for him, but he had already moved down the steps, out the door, and into the glaring Los Angeles sun. He drove aimlessly, the city blurring in streaks of palm trees and advertisements. His phone rang, first Luna, then his mother, and finally Luna again. He let it go to voicemail. At a red light, he glimpsed his reflection in the rearview mirror. Bloodshot eyes and an aching jaw. He resembled a man unraveling. When he arrived at the Forrester estate, the gates were open, and the driveway was lined with cars. It appears to be a family meeting. He'd forgotten. Brooke's birthday or another reason for the clan to assemble, and pretend they weren't all circling the same drains. He parked crookedly, slammed the door and walked in. The living room was a showcase of Forrester dysfunction. Ridge is arguing with Thorne regarding fabric delivery. Steffi was looking through her phone, lips pursed. Eric sits in his armchair, scotch in one hand and a sketchpad in the other. Luna stood by the fireplace, eyes red-rimmed and gripping a glass of water like a lifeline. When she saw Will, she moved toward him, but Steffi intervened. "What is going on?" Steffi demanded. "Luna looks like she's been crying, and you appear to be about to punch a wall." Will opened his mouth, but the words stuck. Luna stepped forward, her voice shaking. "He got test results," she explained. "From a reproductive clinic. Will can't have children." The room froze. Ridge's argument ended in mid-sentence. Thorne's glass stopped halfway to his lips. Eric placed down his sketchpad with meticulous care. "Will," Brooke whispered quietly, crossing to him. "Sweetheart." He took a step back, shaking his head. "Don't." Steffi's gaze narrowed. "Luna, are you saying?" "I'm saying the baby isn't his." Luna's voice trembled on the last word. "Biologically. But Will is." "Still what?" Will laughed harshly, causing everyone to flinch. "The stepfather. The guy who gets to parent another man's child while the world murmurs behind my back? Will you please?" Luna implored. "We can figure this out." "There's nothing to figure out." He turned to face the entire room. "I am infertile. Luna is pregnant. Do the arithmetic." Ridge found his voice first. "Son, let us not jump to conclusions. Mistakes happen. Labs mix up samples. It's not a mix-up." Will took out his phone, opened the email and threw it at his father. Ridge scanned it, his face pale. "Jesus," Thorne mumbled. Steffi rounded on Luna. "Who is it? An intern at Forrester? One of the models? Or did you go slumming with Spencer again?" "Steffi," Brooke snapped. Luna shrank back. "There is no one. I swear on my life, there hasn't been anyone else." "Then explain it," Will answered calmly. "Too quiet. Explain how you're carrying a child that can't be mine." Luna's hands tightened together. "I cannot. Not yet. But I will. I'm willing to take a paternity test if necessary." Will stared at her. The lady he proposed to under the stars in Santorini, and who cried when he gave her his grandmother's ring. He wanted to believe her. However, belief necessitated evidence, which necessitated a father who was not him. "I need time," he murmured and walked out. The following weeks were a slow-motion car accident. Will moved into the beach house, a glass and steel behemoth his father had purchased during a midlife crisis. He did not take calls. He did not go to work. He swam at daybreak, ran till his lungs hurt, and drank until everything blurred. Luna texted SMS with photographs of the nursery, doctor updates and requests to come home. He read them all and reacted to none. The family fractured. Steffi conducted a stealthy inquiry, believing Luna had cheated with someone at the company. Ridge tried to mediate but failed terribly. Eric fled to his sketching, returning only to leave casseroles on Will's porch like offerings to a bereaved widower. Brooke alternated between defending Luna and begging Will for forgiveness. Carter showed up one night with a six-pack and a legal pad. "Hypothetically," Carter replied, cracking a beer, "if Luna didn't cheat, and I'm not saying she didn't, what are your options?" Will glanced at the water, which seemed black and infinite. "A medical miracle. Alien abduction. Or," Carter added slowly, "someone tampered with the samples." Will turned. "What?" "Think about it. You are a Forrester. Luna is expecting a potential heir. There are people who would kill to have that type of leverage." Will's thoughts raced. The clinic was discreet, high-end, and targeted the wealthy. But errors occurred. Or worse, sabotage. He remembered last month's break-in at Forrester and the missing prototypes. Threats from Jack Spencer, who still harbored resentment over an old wrong. "It's a stretch," Will explained. Carter touched the legal pad. "But not impossible. We receive raw data, retest in a different lab, and we examine Luna's medical records. If there's another explanation, there isn't." But uncertainty crept in like spider thread. The retest yielded the same result: azoospermia. Will's issue was congenital and undiagnosed until today. No tampering. No miracles. Simply biology, cold and disinterested. Luna's due date loomed. Will avoided the hospital, but Brooke forced him to attend the baby shower, threatening him with mother anger. The Forrester mansion was transformed with pink and blue balloons, a stroller-shaped cake, and aunts and cousins swooning over tiny socks. Luna sat in the midst, bright and unhappy, her tummy aglow beneath a silk garment. When Will entered, the conversation stuttered. He gave her a gift-wrapped package. Inside was the sonogram shot she had given him months before, now framed in silver. On the back he wrote, "Whoever this child is, they're lucky to have you." Luna's eyes flooded. "Thank you." He nodded, unable to speak, and went to the patio. Steffi followed. "You're an idiot," she said without explanation. "Nice to meet you two." "She didn't cheat, Will. I've had her followed." Her phone tapped. Nothing. There was not a single late-night rendezvous or strange text. "She's gone to the doctor, yoga, and the grocery store. That's all." "So how?" "I'm not sure. But walking away isn't an option." Will chuckled bitterly. "What is it? Pretend I am the father? Lie to the child for 18 years? Or," Steffi said, "you love them regardless. Biology is a crapshoot. Do you think Hope is any less my sister because of a DNA test?" Will looked at her, his words landing like stones in quiet water. Labor arrived early. Will was at the beach home, nursing a hangover, when his phone blew up. Luna's water ruptured midway during a Forrester meeting. Chaos. He drove to the hospital on autopilot, the tires screaming. When he came, she was sweating and holding the bed bars. The doctor screamed orders. Monitors beeped. Luna's gaze met his across the commotion. "Will," she gasped. "Stay." He grasped her hand. Hours passed quickly, pain pushing and the doctor's calm voice counting down. Then came a piercing, furious yell. The nurse pulled a little writhing body moist from birth. "It's a girl," she said. Luna wept. Will glanced at the child, red-faced with flailing fists and a shock of dark hair. She was perfect. Incredibly small. The nurse placed her on Luna's chest, and Luna cried as she stared up at Will. "Hold her," she whispered. He hesitated before reaching out. The baby weighed nothing and everything. Her blue, unfocused eyes looked up at him. She smelled of powder and new beginnings. Something split open in his chest, revealing a hitherto unknown fault line. He said, "Hi," with a gruff voice. "I'm your father," Luna said, reaching for his hand. "Are you sure?" He gazed at her and then at the child. "I've never been more sure of anything." Later, in the stillness of the recovery room, the doctor approached Will. "There's something you should know," she continued. "We performed prenatal paternity testing as a precaution." Will braced himself as the findings came back. "The child is yours," the doctor explained. "Biologically. The initial sperm analysis was contaminated, the samples were exchanged. We're looking into it, but the DNA match is conclusive." Will stared, the words failing to register. But the retest? The same contamination. A systematic problem at the lab. "You are fertile, Mr. Forrester." When he returned, Luna was sleeping with the baby Elias they had decided, nestled in the crook of her arm. Will sat alongside them, watching their chests rise and fall together. He recalled the weeks of hesitation, the evenings when he pictured the worst-case scenario. All of it was undone by a lab blunder and a miracle he hadn't dared to wish for. He kissed Luna's forehead and then the baby's. "We're going to be okay," he said quietly. "All three of us." Outside, Los Angeles was moving, traffic, ambition, and secrets. Inside the hospital room, a new family took its first breaths together, delicate and fierce but unmistakably real. From Ridge and Taylor's perspective, the story is about truth and justice. They are concerned about Luna's previous activities, manipulation, fraud, and seek accountability regardless of if a Spencer baby is born. The discovery of infertility strengthens their suspicions that Luna is up to something. The question then is, what is her true intention? Is another person the father of the baby? Is Will being used? Is the Spencer name being exploited? The infertile twist also raises issues of medical privacy and vulnerability. Will's infertility is a profoundly personal problem, and disclosing it publicly or within a family setting causes emotional ramifications. It could feel like an assault on his masculinity and role. For the plot, it provides Will with a vulnerable moment. He may react aggressively, feel betrayed, or spiral. The drama is ripe. Will may feel used, manipulated, impotent in a symbolic sense, and compelled to reevaluate his destiny. Luna's reaction to the information could range from panic to pivot. She may back up her claim, argue that a test is being rigged, or admit she misled everyone. Alternatively, she could reveal that someone else fathered the child, causing even more shockwaves. Might she change the story to imply that another man is Will's father? Or did she purposefully mislead him? The soap opera genre relies on such levels. This twist benefits both the actors and the audience. Instead of a simple paternity disclosure, which would have been dramatic enough, the infertility angle adds a more complex element. It calls into doubt the concept of legacy, legitimacy, and supposed bloodline. It challenges viewers to consider how much of what they accept is dependent on assumptions. It disrupts not only the connections on screen, but also the viewer's belief in the story. Another dimension are the legal and inheritance concerns. If the infant is thought to be a Spencer heir, he or she may inherit specific benefits, position, and rights. If Will is unable to father the child, the stakes change. The baby is not his and is not an automatic Spencer heir, unless there is an adoption or other subterfuge. The Spencer family may potentially lose a legacy, which Luna may have hoped to preserve. This could lead to legal conflicts, custody issues, and inheritance battles. It emphasizes the truth of paternity. Furthermore, this twist provides fertile ground, no pun intended, for fresh narratives. Who is the actual father? Could it be someone unexpected from either family, or an outsider entirely? Will Luna turn to someone else? Will he choose to battle for recognition or to be done? Will Bill and the Forresters take action? Does Luna face legal consequences for misrepresentation? Does Will address the psychological burden of infertility? It introduces new arcs. Will's reaction will be critical to his character development. Will he withdraw into humiliation or anger? Will he strike out at Luna, Bill, or anybody else? Will he turn to his family or isolate himself? The infertility revelation may compel him to consider what legacy he wants, whether parenting defines him or not. For Luna, the response might be even bigger. On the show, she has been involved in numerous plots, manipulations, and deceptions. The infertility revelation may be another proof that she cannot be trusted. Others, including Ridge, Taylor, Steffi, and Wyatt, may respond harshly. Luna can find herself isolated or on the defensive. For the audience, this type of twist provides both surprise and emotional depth. Soap fans anticipate dramatic paternity tests, but the infertility news adds weight. This is more than just, who is the father? But how could we have believed what we did? And what will the consequences be? The emotional relevance is stronger since infertility involves identity, ancestry, masculinity, and trust. Of all, in soap operas, twists rarely end the plot. Instead, they set the stage for the next one. It is possible that Will's infertility can be disputed. Perhaps the test is incorrect or there is a medical miracle, but this would bring its own issues. Perhaps the father is someone utterly unexpected, and Luna was aware of this all along, or was unaware of it and is now scrambling. The story may involve clandestine affairs, surrogacy, medical fraud, or extortion. Bill Spencer may also alter his focus from long-term legacy building to damage control. He must decide whether to continue claiming the kid as a Spencer despite the fact that his son is infertile, or to disassociate the family from Luna and the infant. His decisions will have an impact on the Spencer family dynamics, including how other family members perceive Will, whether he becomes a source of shame or a scapegoat, and whether Bill's protective instincts morph into violent self-preservation. Ridge and Taylor on the Forrester side may use this discovery to seek justice or hold Luna accountable for her previous wrongdoings, either to end the chapter or to exploit it. They may insist that Luna be held accountable, rather than shielded for the sake of a baby. They may contend that the Spencers are being manipulated. Another aspect is the symbolic significance of paternity in the show's universe. Will most likely desired approval, position, and purpose. Being recognized as the father of a Spencer heir would have given him a lift. His sterility now prevents him from following that route, forcing him to seek out a new purpose or redefine himself. This can result in a redemptive arc of self-discovery. He may decide that fatherhood isn't everything, or he may battle to establish his paternity in another way, adoption. Mentoring. The program may choose to humanize him rather than treat him as a tool in someone else's strategy. Meanwhile, Luna's destiny may go the villainous in crisis route. If her claim fails, she may become desperate, devious, and unpredictable. She may try to hide her tracks, deepen manipulation, or disintegrate. The show might focus on topics like yearning for legacy, fear of abandonment, or the extent somebody will go to gain a place in a powerful family. One must also consider the audience's perspective. While viewers may be enthralled by the scandal and turmoil, they may also feel pity for Will, who is dealing with infertility, or for Luna, who is facing the consequences of her actions. The tale may urge the viewer to re-examine characters who were previously considered as one-dimensional. Furthermore, medical disclosure of infertility may be handled sensitively, or simply for dramatic effect. The show has the chance to properly depict Will's emotional and psychological journey: shock, denial, rage, bargaining, and acceptance. This would strengthen the character and audience relationship. Another potential direction might be the paternity test itself. Will is sterile, thus the baby's father must be someone else. The program may devise a twist, a fresh candidate, possibly someone from outside the main families, perhaps someone concealed. It might be an affair, a forgotten encounter, or even a swapped baby scenario. The revelation may not end with Will's infertility, but rather prompt another probe. The question is, who can be the father? Who's the father? And how will that affect everything?